Hello, Lancaster Symphony followers, patrons, and society. I am Principal Trombonist David Sciannella. I've been with the orchestra, I believe 16, 17 years now. I am from Lanham, Maryland, a suburb of Washington, D.C. A lot of us in the orchestra started playing in the fourth or fifth grade. I started in the fourth grade, and believe it or not, I started on the trumpet, and I lasted roughly 1 month, and I could only play one note on the trumpet. So the band director took the trumpet out of my hands, and he placed like the trombone in my hands, and from then on, to be honest, I was a prodigy. I went home for a week and practiced, and I came back and I was first chair, and I've been pretty much first chair ever since. I earned a scholarship to high school, scholarship to college, like a lot of my co-workers, scholarship to college, earned my master's degree at Eastman School of Music. I played in orchestras in Texas, and then attended North Texas State as a teaching assistant, and then in the late 80s, I came back to Washington, and I've been a freelancer in Washington, D.C. for 32 years now. I'm going to play a few more years, but it's quite a long time, and being a freelancer has its own ups and downs. We'll go into that later. So basically, that's the quick lowdown of my career that led me to Lancaster. And I will say I've thoroughly enjoyed playing at the Fulton and playing for you all. It's been an adventure. So I currently play trombone and euphonium, which is like a small tuba, and I've played that with the orchestra a few times. But that's we don't really play other instruments. We all had to play piano in college, but I'm not a piano player. I can't sing, can't draw. All I can do is blow into my tube. That's pretty much all I do. The instrument that I play is it's a little bit unique. It's a Vincent Bach trombone. I have two, but the bell I play was handmade in 1949 by Vincent Bach himself in New York, Mount Vernon, New York. And there really aren't very many of these around anymore. I know the man in Chicago, the principal trombone in the Chicago Symphony, has one. I don't think he plays it anymore. But it's really not that unique. It's pretty much, standard Bach. Nothing real crazy. I don't really have favorite composers or favorite pieces. There's thousands of orchestra pieces. I like what I'm playing that week, and pretty much that's how it goes. Some pieces are harder than others. Some pieces I get a little bored with sometimes. It just goes. It comes and goes. Pretty much, other than the orchestra and music, I teach a lot of private lessons. I also own and operate a brass repair shop in my house where I do a lot of school instruments. But in my free time, I like to garden, and I'm also, if you can guess, like my cohort Lewis, like to play a lot of golf, and we try to do that whenever possible. So getting to the brass section and brass instruments, there's lots of similarities, and the first big thing, and I know you heard from Guy, is the smaller the brass instrument, the higher the notes, and the longer, bigger the instrument, the lower the notes. So in order is you have the piccolo trumpet, French horn, trombone, and then tuba. And each has its own register where it can play, And I guess the confusing thing for some people is there's lots of overlap. So with my normal trombone, I can almost play all the notes French horn. They can go higher a little bit, but I can get into the French horn range, no problem, and I can get into the trumpet range, no problem, but they go way higher. And then the same thing at the bottom of the register, I can get to bass trombone range and into tuba range, but I can't go anywhere nearly as low as the tuba can go. So the trombone is pretty much the tenor of the brass section, very similar to the bassoons and the woodwinds and the cellos in the strings. We play the tenor line most of the time, roughly. And the other thing, and I know you know this because you see me back there all the time, is for the most part, the trombones play all the loud stuff. We hardly ever play in the slow movements or the fast movements. It's just all the loud stuff. And it gets to be physically challenging sometimes to just come in and play all the loud stuff. That's why we practice, because in order to do that, and in order for me to stay up with Lewis and with Ken Bell principal horn, is you have to practice and maintain your craft, and you can't do it if you don't practice. So during this coronavirus time, I'm probably averaging 2 to 3 hours a day because I have the time to do that. I like to spread it out, hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon, hour at night. I think that works out the best for me. Other people don't. They just sit down and do 3 hours at one time. I don't like that. So it just, that's how it goes. So getting back to the brass, we all play basically the same way, in that we all have a mouthpiece, right? Again, French horn and trumpet mouthpiece can fit inside mine. They're very small. Trombone mouthpiece, tuba mouthpiece is twice as big as my mouthpiece. Twice everything, everything is bigger. So it starts with the mouthpiece, we go into tubing and out the bell. And so I like to do this for children's concerts and whatnot, but the reality is we make the notes and the sounds with our lips, and the instrument just magnifies it. So I'll start at the beginning. If I want to play a B flat, I have to go. If I don't, it's not going to come out correctly. So it has to start with the lip. So if I want to do do, re, mi, simple, right? And it goes from there. So basically, that's your fundamental of how to make the sound on the brass instrument. I don't know if you can tell now with the video, but I'll try to go low note to high note a little bit, and you can see that when the slides is extended all the way out, it's going to be low note, and as I come in, it'll go higher. And vice versa. Now, where we lose people is when I do this. So I didn't change the slide, but I did all of that with my lip. And it's simply, the lower notes came out, the lips were more relaxed and the buzz was lower. And as I tightened and sent more air through, the higher notes came out. So that's the only way of changing. The French horn, the trumpet, they all do the same thing. So that's just by changing my lips. And so in order to do that, that's again why we practice, and we know exactly where the notes are. We know how they feel, how they sound, how they're going to come out. So when Brahms writes, you get and you know where the notes are. Then take it one step further. I'm going to move my slide and I'm going to tighten my lips a little at a time. Therefore, you're going to get all the notes on the scale. There you go. That was pretty much the full range of the trombone, starting low where the tuba goes, getting in the middle to where the French horn can go, and going up to where the trumpet can go. And that's pretty much everything I got. Okay? I'm sure you have a zillion questions. When I'm not performing and practicing and teaching, I'm pretty much out on the golf course with Lewis. And I try to get exercise every day. I think during this virus, I think it's really important to eat healthy and to get exercise every day. And I wouldn't be 60 years old still playing the trombone the way I do if I didn't. So I really feel that's important. Lastly, I think that Lancaster has a great community. I love coming up there. The more seasons go by, I spend more and more time up there. When we're into our Thursday, Friday, Saturday rehearsal and concerts, a lot of times I stay for 3 days. I go to the Central Market every chance I get. I do enjoy my time up there. It's unfortunate that we can't charge $300 a ticket, which is what it would cost to pay all the musicians and all the equipment and everything. So it's really important for donors and patrons to donate to the Symphony so we can keep playing concerts for you guys and keep the costs down. I mean, I would love to have a profit every concert, but it's not in the cards. It's not the way it works. So we all love coming up and playing. It's a great community. I hope we get back to work and play concerts for you in September. I really, truly do. Until then, I will try to record some music for you guys, and you can enjoy that. It's been nice talking with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.